everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new. My name is Jade. In today's video we're going to be unboxing some Ohuhu products that I purchased from their website. So as you can see, we've got two boxes here. The first one is this one and it has got a lovely little design of a lizard on there, which is super cute. So we're going to go ahead and move this one out of the way and we're going to take a look at these oil-based pencils first. So these came really well packaged. As you can see, I thought I'd got all the sellotape off, but I haven't. So I'm going to have to try this from the other side. So the pencils come wrapped in bubble wrap. This is straight out of the package, so this is how they come from Ohuhu. I'm going to go ahead and open these up. I wanted to film this for you guys so that I can show you like the unboxing process, and then we can go ahead and try out the products as well and see what we think. So as you can see, they've got a double layer of bubble wrap on and some protective cardboard on the edges as well, so they were very well protected. And here is what the case looks like. It's a metal tin. And you have the colours listed on the back with the lovely dragonfly picture on the front. So we're going to go ahead and open these. So I've got another layer of packaging here. See if I can get this open. Okay, so let's open these up and take a look at the pencils on the inside. So we've got some paperwork in here, a Ohuhu user manual for the pencils, with some features, tips and notes on there. And it looks like these are in different languages as well. Then we've got a nice little colour swatch chart. And finally, here are the pencils. So I'm just going to move this out so that I can get that bit of foam out. And there we go. So this is the first look. I think there's only two trays. Yeah, two trays. But we've got quite a good variety of different colours here. Some nice greens and greys. And then on the top shelf, we've got more sort of vibrant colours, yellows, pinks and blues. Okay, so that's the first look at the pencil. So I think we'll move on now and open up the second box. Let's see what we've got in here. So I finally decided to get myself some Ohuhu alcohol markers. I've seen a lot of people online talking about these and they seem to be really good, so I wanted to give them a try. So I decided to get the 120 set. So there's quite a few different colours in there. So these are the pens. As you can see, quite a good variety of different colours, some yellow, some grey, some browns. This is what the pen looks like. So I chose the ones with the broad tip and the brush tip on the other end. And in here we've got another little Ohuhu booklet. Again, I think this is just to sort of tell you a bit about the markers and give you some tips and tricks on how to use them. And then we get this little plastic sheet that we can put behind our pages when we're colouring. Okay, so that's a good overview of the markers. So now we need to pick a book to try them out in. So I'm going to find a single-sided book. So I decided to go with this Disney Portraits book. This is single-sided, so it'll be really good to use with the alcohol markers. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pick out which page I want to do. Okay, and here we've got a Little Mermaid page, which I think will be good to test these markers out because we'll have some hair to colour in and some skin as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use this picture and I'm going to place the plastic that they gave us underneath her just to make sure that none of the alcohol markers bleed through. Okay, so I'm just going to use the markers as a base coat today. So I'm just going to do the initial layer of colour with the sort of lightest red that I can find. And I'm just going to go ahead and use one layer and complete the hair. So I like to pick the lightest colour so that I can add darker pencils on top for the shadows. So this was the lightest red that I could find, and I thought I'll definitely have a pencil which is a bit of a darker red that I can use to add some shadows in. So with regards to the markers, the first layer was a little bit streaky. So if you just do one layer on its own on like a big area, it can look a little bit streaky. But if you use 2 layers, it does cover really well. What I really like about these pens is that you have the brush tip, so you can get into these really small areas without going over the lines. And also they don't tend to bleed. Well, on this paper anyway, I didn't notice any bleed through or any of the markers going over the lines, which is always a great thing. So that's our hair completed. So I'm going to go in with the skin tone next. And again, I'm just going to pick the lightest colour that I can so that when I add the shadows on top with the pencils, that'll be a bit more visible. But earlier on I mentioned that the one layer was a little bit streaky. So on the face, I did 2 layers of the alcohol markers and it came out a lot better. There was no streaks on the face. So I do think it's a good idea to do 2 layers if you're going to be doing a face or somewhere where you don't want the lines visible. So you can see here with the second layer, it really does make a difference and it does get rid of them sort of lines that you can see underneath from the first layer. So I'm not going to be doing the whole picture today. I just wanted to do a little bit of the hair and the face and a little bit of blue so that we had a couple of different colours in there just to sort of try out today. So now moving on to the pencils, I picked a sort of colour similar to the skin tone but a little bit darker just to add some shadows into the face. And I'm literally just using light pressure here just to add a little bit of colour down where I want some shadows to be. So with regards to the pencils, I do think that the actual leads are a little bit softer than I thought they were going to be. I did press a little bit too hard and break the lead at one point. So they are softer than I thought they would be for a oil pencil. They do seem to be laying down a really nice amount of colour and pigment onto the page. So as you can see, I'm just using this one to go around and add all of the shadows in, and it worked really well just with light pressure. And with this one, I just went in with a colour similar to the skin tone just to sort of blend out the shadows that we'd already put down. What I did notice about these pencils is that you could layer on top of the other colours. So for example, when I do the blush on the cheeks in a moment, you can see that I used 2 different pinks to add a bit more shadow, and the colours did lay down on top of each other very well. So that was a good point with these pencils. But overall, these pencils worked great on top of the markers, so I'm really happy with how it worked out. Obviously, I'll have to try the pencils out on their own on a page and just see how they work without the markers, but I'll do that in a future video. So moving on to the hair, I went in for like a brown colour because I really wanted the shadow to show up quite well. So by using a brown on top of the red, it really gives that illusion of a shadow. So I used this dark brown colour and just sort of outlined everywhere where I wanted the shadows to be. And then I used a red colour similar to the marker itself, just to blend out the brown and make sure there was no harsh lines. But I think it came out quite nicely. These pencils do really work well together, so I was quite impressed with how the hair came out. So I'm really happy with the markers. They worked great for a base. And I think the pencils worked really well on top of the markers as well. If you guys have got these pencils or markers, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on them and what you like to use them for. And maybe you use the markers on their own and do some blending, or if you've tried the pencils on their own, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay guys, so this is the final result. I'm quite pleased with how it came out. I think it looks really nice. The only thing left to do now is to add a little bit of white gel pen just to really bring out those highlights. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.